How many of you have regular intentional one-on-ones with your direct reports or your team members? Do you have one-on-ones with your leaders and your managers? Today, we're going to be talking everything one-on-one conversations, and I'll provide you with a template for you to go away and to use. This is one of the biggest things that I work with on managers that I coach. Okay, it's having intentional one-on-one conversations. I've got a little presentation, so we're going to head over to the presentation now, and you'll see me up in the top corner. Now, one-on-one conversations are so important in the workplace. There's so much research out there, and I'm going to share with you that research today. But soft skills issues are costing organizations $144,500 every single day. And that's from a Harvard Business Review study. That is crazy. And a lot of these soft skills issues can be solved with having a regular one-on-one conversation with your direct reports. Now, what's the research showing? Employees of managers who don't have one-on-one meetings are 4 times likely to be disengaged, meaning they're looking for other jobs. They're not actively involved within the work that they do. One-on-one meetings can offer a huge boost to retention and productivity. So Adobe saw a 30% reduction in voluntary turnover, meaning that there wasn't as many people leaving the business. And General Electric found a 5-fold increase in productivity just in a 12-month period from having just implemented regular one-on-ones. Employees who don't have regular one-on-ones with their managers are 3 times more likely to be engaged. Sorry, who do have regular ones, so 3 times more likely to be engaged. For the business, you're looking at one-on-one meetings can help reduce turnover because the employees are a little bit more invested in their career. They're invested in the goals that have been set in the business and things like that. And Hogan assessment showed that 75% of employees considered their direct boss to be the worst part of their job. How bad is that? And then the final one, experienced leaders swear by the value of importance of one-on-one meetings. So Andy Grove, who built Intel from 0 to $200 billion in revenue, swears by these, and he's written quite a few books. So it's vitally important. If you don't have one, then you need to start implementing one, and I can help you with that one. A lot of times when I ask leaders, do you have one-on-ones? Oh yeah, I have a catch up. We just sit down and I grab people as I walk past in the office. I like to call this a bit of a drive-by. Now, what's the difference? So if you're having a one-on-one conversation, it's intentional, okay? It means it's planned, it's deliberate. You're focused on that individual for that specific period in time. You are prepared. There is a structure to follow, meaning you're going to get better outcomes. You're going to promote discussion rather than just a talk fest with no agenda that you're looking at. Because it's deliberate, it's going to be limiting distractions, because it's either going to be in your office, you're going to book a meeting room, which is the right space. You're going to be talking about deeper level issues. So think around that, the iceberg model. With a drive-by or just a catch-up, you're only talking surface level information, whereas on a one-on-one conversation, you're going deeper. So you're asking more questions to identify the real root cause of issues and problems that people are having. The one-on-one conversation is around career growth and development, as well as boosting productivity by aligning your team members to the goal that they need to achieve. Where on the other hand, a catch-up, you've probably had all of these. It's ad hoc, it's informal, it's pretty rushed. As you're just going, hey, yeah, let's have a little catch-up. What's on your mind? So it's that surface level information that you're getting, because then you have to move on to another colleague, or you need to move on to another project, or whatever else is in your diary. Generally, it's just a status update, so you're not going below the surface to understand your employee or your team member well enough. Hardly any structure to it, because you're just asking for updates. There'll be a lot of distractions, because more often than not, it's in the workplace. It's at their desk, it's in the hallway, it's just, hey, let's go grab a quick coffee. There's no notes or follow-ups, meaning there's no development overall. Let's look at the one-on-one conversation. So it is intentional. It's a regular conversation between you and your direct reports or your manager. During that one-on-one conversation, you're looking at what? So you're tracking their progress, you're tracking the how they're getting that. So, um, how they're progressing towards the goal. What are any issues, barriers, and things like that? Why have it? We've discussed this. It's, you're going to boost productivity, increase engagement. You're going to be able to problem solve at the lowest possible level as well to identify, what's holding people back. And I've got a structure for you that if you want it, you can just reply to the email with it. Now, what is the structure? You need to, the first part is reviewing the current workload. So how are they tracking towards the projects, towards business as usual? What are any issues, challenges, and concerns and barriers that they've had? And then what have they got planned for the next 2 weeks? And this is where you can actually use your questions to align your direct reports towards where you want them to go. And then we look at, okay, you as an employer or a team member, where do you want to go in the next year? What goals do you have? What can we do to, so can I put you on a project team to develop your project management skills or your time management skills? You want to be a CFO in 5 years. How can I help you get towards that goal by putting you in different situations? What are your motivators? Have you done a behavioral profile? What is their PB5, which are the 5 most important things to them? How can you use all this information to motivate them, more effectively? And then always finish with a start, stop, and continue. So as a result of these 2 weeks and this discussion, what are you going to start doing? What are you going to stop doing that's not serving you, that's not getting you the result? And then what are you doing well that you're going to continue to do? This builds and builds and builds each week or each fortnight, depending on your rhythm. To develop your employee, makes them feel different. And then you're going to document that, put it in their P file. We've discussed the P file. And then 5 minutes before the next one-on-one, you're going to open it, look at the start, stop, and continue, look at the objectives for the next 2 weeks. And then that's going to prepare you for the conversation. And let's look at the benefits. So as a manager, you're going to resolve the issues early. So you're going to be able to do that early, and they're not going to manifest and get bigger and bigger, bigger. You're going to improve retention by actually listening to your employee. What are their issues and concerns? You're going to upskill them by looking at their development, strengths, weaknesses, using the start, stop, and continue. It's an opportunity for them to give you feedback as well on your management style. But it's also an opportunity for you to provide them feedback. And we said 68% of employees receive 0 feedback. So this is an opportunity for you to do that. You're going to keep them on track. And look, you can build trust over time and time. What are the benefits for the business? So you're going to increase your employee engagement, higher productivity, because you're looking at all the issues, concerns, and barriers, the lower turnover, and you're going to increase the ability to be a bit more agile. So specifically around these times when we need to pivot really quite quickly, it's going to give you the opportunity as a business to be able to do that and articulate that. I'm going to share with you now the Word version of the what the template looks like. So we'll head over there now. Okay, this is the template. If you want it, just reply back and email me that you want a copy of it, and I'll send it straight over. What does it look like? So we've got their name and dates. So the first box is around their current work. So what are they currently doing? What are their objectives? The second box is, what are some wins and losses and lessons learned over that sort of 2-week period? What you're trying to do is provide them a bit of insight by reflecting on all the projects that they've done and identifying how they can improve. And the next part is, what are the objectives for the next 2 weeks? So objective 1 to 5. And what are some issues and barriers or challenges that they could perceive in reaching that objective? And this is where you can ask some really great questions. So if it's time or if it's a relationship issue, you can say, well, how else can you do that? What else? What else? What else? What are other strategies that you can consider to get you close towards your goal? And then the second part, really, so we're looking at half an hour. So first 15 minutes, looking at that. The next 15 minutes, we're looking at development goals. So, okay, for the next 12 months, what's your development goal? How are you tracking with the progress? What books have you read? What podcasts are you invested in? And then finishing it with the next steps, really. So what are you going to start doing as a result of our conversation? What are you going to stop doing? And what are you doing well that you're going to continue to do? Research has shown that any longer than you're not getting any more benefit if the meeting goes to 45 minutes. So that's why we keep it to 30 minutes, short, sharp, invested. Rhythm, you can do it fortnightly, once a week. If you have a new employee, I would recommend doing it once a week for the first 3 to 4 months to get people on track as quick as possible. After that, then you can put it out to once a fortnight. If you have got a remote team, I would be doing it every week. So you do a team meeting on a Monday, have a checkup on a Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday to see how people are progressing. By asking questions, you're not micromanaging them, you're just asking questions. And then at the end of the week, you have a team meeting to wrap the week up. Hopefully you found that beneficial. If you want the template, just let us know, and I'll send it straight over to you. This is one of the most important things that you can ever do as a leader.